My brother and I were adopted at the same time, one by LA's wealthiest man, the other by a nouveau riche couple. The magnate's daughter was a Yandere. My brother became her plaything, and within a few years, he was tortured beyond recognition, his lower limbs crippled. Meanwhile, under the meticulous cultivation of the nouveau riche couple, I became the youngest Triple Crown Best Actor. Later, consumed by jealousy and hatred, my brother dragged me into a fiery inferno, ending both our lives. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day my brother and I would be adopted. He rushed to kneel before the nouveau riche couple, tearfully exclaiming, "Uncle, Auntie, I want to be your son. I'll be very good and obedient." The nouveau riche couple hesitated, whispering to each other, "They're both about the same. Which one should we choose?" Hearing them, my brother quickly pitched himself. "Uncle, Auntie, choose me. I'll work hard to repay your kindness." Seeing his eagerness, I understood he had been reborn too. But he didn't know that no matter how cruel the magnate's daughter was, she was still just a 15-year-old Yandere. The nouveau riche couple, however, were shrewd individuals who had clawed their way up from the bottom. He only saw the glamour of me becoming an actor at a young age in my previous life, but he had no idea what I had endured. Seeing the nouveau riche couple sizing me up, my heart skipped a beat. I quickly pulled out a photo of our deceased parents and started crying. "Mom, Dad, I miss you so much. No one can ever replace you in my heart." The nouveau riche couple's expressions changed. The woman pointed at my brother and whispered, "It seems this one won't bond with us. Let's take the other one." My brother's face lit up with joy as he plopped to his knees. "Dad, Mom, I'll definitely be obedient." Just then, the orphanage director arrived belatedly with LA's wealthiest man. Seeing me crying while holding the photo of my deceased parents, the magnate's face showed a pleased expression. He thought I was a sentimental child and decided to adopt me on the spot. My brother snickered maliciously. "Bro, I'm so jealous you got a magnate for a dad and such a beautiful sister." Then he said to Scarlett Smith, who was beside the magnate, "Sister, my brother is part of your family now. You have to take good care of him." He deliberately emphasized the words, "take good care." Scarlett didn't acknowledge him. Her gaze toward me was filled with playful curiosity. My brother gave me one last look like I was already dead, then took the hands of the nouveau riche couple and left without a backward glance. Watching their retreating figures, I sighed in relief. "Jason, congratulations on taking my place in hell. Compared to the nightmares I endured in my past life, the Yandere Scarlett was practically an angel in my eyes. After all, what Yandere sister wouldn't love her little brother?" In the car, Scarlett noticed me staring at her and coldly asked, "Had enough of looking?" Her expression was far from that of a 15-year-old girl. It was gloomy and terrifying. My heart skipped a beat. Since it's like this, I'll just have to win her over step by step. "Sister, I've never seen a girl as pretty as you. Are you really going to be my sister?" I smiled sweetly, my eyes full of admiration and longing. Scarlett turned to look at me, a flicker of amusement in her cold eyes. "Do you really want to be my little brother?" "Yes. I'm so happy to have a sister who will dote on me." I feigned happiness, then became apprehensive, my eyes red as I lowered my head. "But sister, you probably don't like me either. At the orphanage, no one liked me. They all hated me." Scarlett paused, then said stiffly, "I don't hate you." I stopped sniffling and threw my arms around her waist. "That's great. Sister doesn't hate me. Sister likes me." Scarlett's body tensed abruptly. She shoved me away, her gaze turning sinister again. "Get lost. Don't touch me again without my permission." Truly a Yandere, so unpredictable. The magnate, Mr. Smith, chuckled from the front seat, telling Scarlett to get along with me. I knew very well that this home was essentially just for Scarlett and me. Mr. Smith was always busy flying around for his business. Scarlett would be the one I'd spend all my time with. As long as I could get on good terms with this Yandere Scarlett, everything would be fine. When we arrived at the villa, Mr. Smith instructed the butler to arrange my room next to Scarlett's. From then on, I began my strategy to win over my Yandere sister, Scarlett. On the first day of school, I clung to her arm, refusing to let go, crying, Sister, I don't want to be separated from you. I'm scared. I saw her looking at me, tears and snot streaming down my face like a pitiful, abandoned puppy. Scarlett ultimately couldn't bring herself to shake my arm off. After that, I became her most devoted fan, constantly saying, "My sister this and my sister that," my face beaming with pride. When I was sick, I'd refuse to take medicine unless Scarlett coaxed me. If I didn't know how to do a homework problem, I'd pester her to teach me. And when I learned it, I'd demand a hug as a reward. Everywhere I went, I was like an accessory attached to her, clinging to her tightly. 3 years passed like this, and Scarlett indeed grew accustomed to my dependence on her, no longer averse to my physical contact. Even the butler chuckled. "This is the first time I've seen Miss Care. So much for someone else. Young master, you're truly fortunate." Hearing this, I knew I was in a stable position. That very night, during a thunderstorm, I climbed into Scarlett's bed. When Scarlett came out after a shower and saw me in her bed, her face instantly darkened. "Sister, I'm scared. I just had a nightmare. I want to sleep with you, okay?" Before she could get angry, I burst into tears first. A complex expression appeared on Scarlett's face. Anger, a murderous glint, and a deep sense of helplessness. I thought to myself, oh no, did I push it too far? So, I tearfully got off her bed and apologized. "I'm sorry, sister. When I was little, Mom always held me when it thundered. I just miss Mom." A flicker of pity crossed Scarlett's eyes, and she muttered something under her breath. Then, just as I was about to leave with my pillow, she grabbed me and pulled me back. "Sleep on the side and behave yourself." Got it. I was shocked. Did it really work just like that? That night, Scarlett and I slept in the same bed, feeling her gently patting my back, and an inexplicable emotion welled up inside me. In my previous life, though I wasn't by her side, I had some understanding of her. She wasn't actually that perverted towards Jason from the very beginning, because her mother died young and her magnate father was often away. She was starved for affection and craved love from others. But that idiot Jason, after becoming the magnate's son, flaunted his status everywhere and made friends with unsavory characters. Toward Scarlett, his sister, he mostly felt hostility. He coveted the Smith family fortune and saw Scarlett as an obstacle to his inheritance. Later, he even dared to try and have Scarlett kidnapped and violated, which is why Scarlett had his legs broken and his face disfigured. I was very clear about my own role. I would use love to reform this Yandere Scarlett. Now that I had succeeded, I even developed a feeling of mutual dependence with her. "Sister, I will work hard to become strong and protect you," I said from the bottom of my heart. Scarlett's hand paused, and she chuckled softly. Then grow up quickly." Time flew. In the blink of an eye, Scarlett was a university student, and I had successfully come of age and finished my college entrance exams. I saw Jason again at my coming-of-age party. He followed behind the nouveau riche couple, the Johnsons, dressed in a high-end custom suit, his features handsome. He had the polished look of a newly debuted young actor, but his expression was listless, his eyes dull. It was clear he'd been worn down considerably. When he saw me appear in ordinary clothes, he deliberately straightened his back and walked towards me, chin held high. He scanned me up and down. "Looks like you haven't been doing too well these past few years. That psycho Scarlett doesn't even let you wear a decent suit." Before I could speak, Scarlett's icy voice came from behind me. "Who are you calling a psycho?" The moment Jason saw her, his already pale face turned ashen. In his previous life, Scarlett had tortured him beyond recognition, leaving him with a deep psychological scar. Now, seeing her gaze fixed on him with disgust, his voice began to tremble. "I'm sorry, I was just talking nonsense." Scarlett didn't look at him again. Instead, she turned and draped a woolen shawl over my shoulders, her eyes glistening with tears. "Little brother, this is a gift sister knitted for you herself. Happy adulthood. You'll be going to university overseas soon. If you miss sister, call me. Sister can also fly over to see you anytime." Saying this, she hugged me tightly, her voice choked with emotion. "If you're not comfortable living there, sister will buy you a house near the university and hire a chef from home to cook for you." I gently declined her offer. In this life, I had finally managed to live like a normal person, and I just wanted to experience campus life like any other university student. Don't worry, sister. I'll take good care of myself. Have you forgotten? We need to keep a low profile. Scarlett was amused by my words, wiped her tears, and said, "All right." After she turned to greet other guests, Jason finally snapped out of his shock. He excitedly grabbed my arm, eagerly asking, "Why is she so good to you?" I ignored his shattered expression and replied with a half smile, "She's my sister. Isn't it normal for her to be good to me? Or are your nouveau riche parents not good to you?" My rhetorical question seemed to trigger painful memories for him. Jason broke down. He clutched his hair tightly, seemingly lost in extreme anguish, unable to extricate himself. How could this be? Why is it like this? Suddenly, the voices of the Johnsons sounded from behind him. Jason's face turned pale with fright. "Jason, Director Miller is here today, too. Come with us to meet him quickly." The couple pulled Jason away. He was trembling all over, and there was a hint of a plea for help in his eyes as he looked at me. I sighed and stopped them. "Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, I haven't seen my brother in years. I'd like to chat with him a bit more. Is that all right?" The Johnsons, aware that I was the magnate's son and well-favored by both Mr. Smith and his daughter Scarlett over the years, didn't dare offend me. All right, Mr. Johnson agreed with a smile, but his wife quickly gave Jason a harsh pinch. "Hurry up. If you mess things up, you'll regret it." Jason's face contorted in pain from the pinch, but he could only nod obediently. After watching the couple leave, he let out a long sigh of relief. His legs seemed to be trembling slightly. I looked at him with some amusement. "What's wrong? Are your parents not treating you well?" He was enraged by my expression and rushed forward, tried to pull on my clothes. "I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You must be lying to me. You don't dare wear expensive clothes. Is it because you have injuries on your body and you're afraid of staining them?" Looking at his frenzied state, I understood. It seemed that in this life, he had also experienced what I went through in my previous one. In my past life, after the Johnsons took me home, they began their twisted method of education. I was only allowed to sleep 4 hours a day. The rest of the time was dedicated to studying, painting, advanced math, piano, and horse riding. I was chronically sleep-deprived. Once I fell off a horse and nearly became paralyzed. The Johnsons kept a meticulous record of every penny spent on me, including medical bills. Then, when I turned 18, they forced me to repay them manifold. From that point on, they pushed me step by step into an abyss of no return. They started forcing me to learn subservient and flattering techniques to entertain numerous wealthy older women and powerful men. The glamorous resources I appeared to have were all exchanged for my body, blood, and tears. Once a powerful man abused me so badly I couldn't get out of bed for days, couldn't walk, couldn't even use the restroom. It was too painful. I felt so dirty, utterly exhausted physically and mentally. Yet, I couldn't escape their control. On the night I received the Best Actor award, 3 powerful figures were already waiting in my room to celebrate with me. At my most agonizing moment, my brother Jason appeared in a wheelchair, his eyes bloodshot, and set me on fire, burning me to death. Calculating the time in this life, he should have just entered the entertainment industry. He had probably only been abused and beaten by the Johnsons, not yet truly cast into hell by them. Jason ripped open my shirt. Seeing my unblemished chest, he broke down and sobbed. Why? Why didn't Scarlett torture you? Shouldn't you be covered in injuries? For years, rumors said the Smith family didn't treat you, their adopted son. Well, how could you possibly be doing better than me? His expression was agitated, but it seemed to pull at a wound on his arm, making him grimace in pain. I looked at him with a scornful gaze, a silent, cold sneer. The rumors Scarlett had allowed to spread were merely for my protection. Privately, she loved me so much she had to hold me to sleep every night. Looking at the devastated Jason, I smirked. Why, little brother? It seems you don't want me to be well off. Could it be that you're not doing well in this life, either? Jason instantly stopped crying, his face a mask of shock and panic. You were reborn too? I neither confirmed nor denied, my smile growing more mocking. In both lives, you were the one who chose first. Are you really so useless that whichever side you pick, it's a trap? The word useless provoked him, his eyes turning bloodshot. You're the useless one. Just watch. I'll climb higher and be more successful than you. I nodded and smiled. Well, then good luck. The entertainment industry, such a corrupt place with no moral bottom line, really suited him. Let him truly experience those hellish torments before he talks to me about success. The Johnsons came over to urge him again. Jason wiped his tears and lifted his chin once more. Liam, just you wait. I'm gonna be a big star. I'll have my fans cyberbully you. I'll expose your crimes, you black-heart brother. My crimes? What crimes could I have? In both lives, I let him choose first. After our parents died, I yielded to him in everything. But in his eyes, it wasn't enough. He only wanted to suppress me, to climb over me. He never truly saw me as his older brother. I know today is your coming-of-age party. So Scarlett is just cooperating with your act. I'm waiting for the day she disfigures you and breaks your legs. Jason whispered this last sentence in my ear and left, laughing loudly. He wasn't wrong. Scarlett was indeed acting. I looked up into the distance. Though Scarlett was holding a wine glass and entertaining guests, her gaze never left me. An enigmatic light flickered in her eyes. The next second, she walked towards me with a smile, pulled me into a dimly lit private room, and pressed her body against mine. Little brother, I heard everything you two said just now. You've been naughty. Sister needs to punish you. Her warm breath tickled my ear. Scarlett's faint, alluring fragrance wafted to my nose, and I felt the fiery warmth from her chest. A gush of heat surged through my nose. Damn it, she had developed so much over these years. Ever since I climbed in her bed at 13, this Yandere had become insatiable. Not only did she insist on holding me every night, but she also started telling me bedtime stories. I had resisted telling her I was grown up, and we couldn't continue like this. Not only did she ignore me, but she also draped her long leg over my stomach. Little brother, why is your body so hard thinking of this? The heat in my nose intensified. I haven't even started the punishment, and you're already having a nosebleed. Scarlett chuckled softly. I silently lamented. It's nothing. Probably just a bit overheated lately. She let go of me, took out a handkerchief to wipe my nosebleed, but her eyes turned somewhat sorrowful. All these years, you not only asked me to act with you, but you were also acting towards me, weren't you? My heart tightened. I remembered what she had said earlier. She heard my conversation with Jason. Could it be I put a listening device in the scarf? Scarlett explained, her eyes slightly red. Ever since you were almost kidnapped when you were 15, I've been very worried about your safety. When I was 15, we encountered a group of kidnappers. Seeing how protective Scarlett was of me, they decided to kidnap me, the son, to demand a hefty ransom from the magnate. Fortunately, the bodyguard arrived in time and rescued us. I took that opportunity to persuade Scarlett to act with me, to be outwardly cold towards me, even a bit mean. My magnate father, Mr. Smith, also played along to protect me, stating that he didn't plan to leave his fortune to me, the adopted son. After that, public attention completely shifted away from me. This also deceived my brother Jason, which is why he was so sure earlier that Scarlett's kindness towards me was just an act for outsiders. But he didn't know that while Scarlett was indeed acting, she was acting with considerable restraint. She loved me desperately, wishing she never had to be apart from me for a moment. Putting a listening device in the scarf was also to protect my safety at all times. After all, what Yandere's sister would harm her own little brother? Thinking of this, a warmth spread through my heart, mixed with guilt. Sister, I know you're good to me. You heard what we said. Will you hate me for deceiving you? A strange light flickered in Scarlett's eyes as she pinned me against the wall again. She leaned in, her lips almost touching my cheek. I felt my ears burning hot. How could sister hate her little brother? However, you've hidden so many things from me. You deserve to be punished. That night, I was punished by Scarlett so severely that I almost couldn't get out of bed. She tied my limbs to the bedposts and lightly tickled the soles of my feet with a feather. Speak. What did you mean by 2 lives? I begged for mercy repeatedly, and told her everything about my previous life. When she heard how she had tortured Jason beyond recognition in the previous life, Scarlett snorted coldly. I never liked that kid. Even though you look alike, he's thoroughly detestable. Unlike you, who's so lovable. She tossed the feather aside and hugged me tightly. Little brother, thank you for choosing me as your sister this time. I will definitely protect you well. I was moved and softly thanked her. If it weren't for her protection, I might not have grown up healthy and sound. She gently shook her head, tears falling onto my chest. It's because of your appearance that sister feels life has meaning. To be able to do things for the person I love. To accompany him as he grows up, to protect him for a lifetime. A lifetime. Perhaps that wouldn't be so bad. Later, I couldn't win against Scarlett and agreed to her buying a house off campus for me to live in. Whenever she flew over, I would move out to stay with her. During those 4 years, any girl who confessed her feelings for me was blocked by Scarlett, who claimed to be my girlfriend. She would also jealously ask me if there were any girls I liked. I found it amusing. Having suffered those hellish torments in my past life, I had long lost any longing for love, feeling I was unworthy. As tainted as my body was, so too were the unbearable memories etched into my soul. Seeing me remain silent and only shed tears, she felt a deep ache in her heart and said she would definitely find a way to avenge me and lead me out of the shadows. I hugged her moved. As for revenge, I still felt it would be more satisfying to do it myself. 4 years of university life passed quickly. I intensively studied screenwriting, directing, and other related fields. With my experience navigating the entertainment industry in my previous life, these tasks came easily to me. Before graduating, I had already written an excellent movie script. Scarlett brought it back to the country, and under the operation of the Smith family's film company, it was made into a movie. Within a month of its release, the box office surpassed $1 billion. On the day I returned to the country, I ran into my brother Jason at the airport. In 4 years, he had become a popular young star in the industry. A large crowd of fans picking him up had congested the airport. When Jason saw me in ordinary clothes pulling a suitcase, he walked over to me provocatively. Bro, look how popular and successful I am now. I heard the surrounding fans murmuring, is that Jason's brother, the one adopted by the magnate? They do look alike, but he's not as handsome or talented as our Jason. Yeah, Jason is much better looking. Jason, I love you. Listening to the fans praising him while putting me down, Jason was very pleased. Liam, just wait. I'm about to become a best actor. Then you, this loser, will be trampled under my feet. I ignored him and left the airport alone, pulling my suitcase. After getting into the car, I realized Scarlett's expression was extremely dark. It turned out she had heard what Jason said to me. How dare he threaten you? I'll make him regret what he said to you today. I squeezed her cold hand and smiled. Let's not talk about him today. I want to eat at that spicy hot pot restaurant downtown. Will you go with me? A look of indulgence flashed in Scarlett's eyes, and her expression changed from gloomy to bright. All right, sister will accompany you to eat whatever you want. After returning to the country, I didn't rush to join Scarlett's film company. After my previous life, I understood very well that keeping a low profile and biding my time was the way to survive. Scarlett didn't force me either. Instead, she kept all the scripts I wrote under the guise of a mysterious author. My latest work happened to catch the eye of the prominent director who had made Jason famous, Director Miller. He wanted to buy it, but I had Scarlett refuse him. However, indicated we could collaborate as I had great confidence in this work. Director Miller agreed. On the day of the contract signing, I wasn't present. Scarlett signed for me. I didn't want to see him in my previous life. He was one of the industry bigwigs who had abused me. I wrote this script merely to cast a long line to catch a big fish. I wanted him and Jason to be ruined and disgraced together. 2 months later, under my and Scarlett's guidance, Jason landed the lead role in Director Miller's major film. To show off, he spread the news that he would invite me, his brother, to celebrate with him. Due to the overwhelming public opinion, I had to attend. Scarlett snorted coldly and decided to accompany me. Director Miller is an old friend of my father's. It's appropriate for me to go too. Only if I'm there will they not dare to bully you. I agreed, and she happily attended, linking her arm with mine, but we both underestimated Jason's audacity. He had long planned to drag me to hell with him. Inside the banquet hall, glasses clinked. The nouveau riche couple, the Johnsons, were dressed like preening peacocks, bedecked in jewels, basking in the flattery of the crowd. Jason stood obediently beside them like a well-behaved puppy. Director Miller held his hand, praising his sensibility. A flicker of disgust crossed Jason's eyes, but it turned into smugness when he saw me arrive. While Scarlett had gone to change, after someone spilled a drink on her gown, Jason seized the opportunity. He strode over, pulled me up, and led me towards those people. This is my twin brother. He's been studying overseas for the past few years and just returned. He hasn't found a job yet. If any of you have suitable recommendations, please offer them. All eyes focused on me. Among them were many of the wealthy women and powerful men who had tortured me in my previous life. Their gazes were as brazen and unrestrained as before. A strong sense of revulsion welled up in me as painful memories flooded my mind. Jason seemed to notice my body trembling and whispered, pulling me closer, "Bro, looks like you weren't spared their torment in the last life either." "Huh? Why are you shaking? Are you cold?" I forced myself to remain calm and managed a weak smile to retort, "I don't know what you're talking about." "Let go." He suddenly gripped my wrist and announced loudly, "Everyone, my brother says he's very happy for me and praises that my achievements today are thanks to all of your support. He wants to toast everyone." My heart sank. The gazes of those wealthy women and powerful men turned even more predatory, like vipers flicking their tongues. One person toasting so many of us isn't quite right, is it? One by one, they showed more sincerity. Someone jeered, and everyone started shouting for me to toast them in turns. A hand landed on my shoulder. "Not bad, young man. If you can please everyone here today, I'll arrange a role for you, too." It was Director Miller. His greasy, lecherous face seemed to magnify before me, making me tremble all over. Reflexively, I shook off his hand and stumbled backward, my face pale. A flash of displeasure crossed Director Miller's eyes. He then placed his hand on Jason's shoulder. "Your brother isn't nearly as generous as you are. Has the Smith family taught him to be so timid and withdrawn all these years?" The crowd roared with laughter, and the nausea in my stomach intensified. "Bro, are you jealous of my achievements today? So, you don't want to thank these important people for me?" Jason looked aggrieved, his eyes tearing. I tried to speak, but instead, I retched and vomited. These people, these words, they all disgusted me immensely. In my previous life, it was them. They left one mark of shame after another on my body. I had thought that after so many years, I would be able to face them calmly. Only now did I realize I couldn't. The harm they inflicted on me was too deep, like a nightmare I could never escape. "Bro, are you not feeling well? Why didn't you say so earlier?" Jason feigned concern, supporting me and ordering someone to bring me a glass of hot water. One sip of water, and the world began to spin. My vision turned pink, and my body grew hotter and hotter. Only then did I realize the water had been drugged. I never imagined that at such a high-class banquet, Jason would be so audacious. My body was out of control. Like a boneless heap, I was helped to a guest room on the 3rd floor. Jason whispered in my ear, "Bro, in this life, I've endured so much in your place. It's time you paid back some interest." With that, he stepped back, a wicked smile on his face, and opened the door to let several people in. Leading them was Director Miller. He excitedly reached out and touched my face. "Jason, you're quite sensible. Your brother like this, he has a unique charm." The two men beside him rubbed their hands together, readily agreeing. "Thank you for the compliment, Director Miller. I'll stand guard outside." "Please, Director, enjoy yourself," Jason said with a fawning smile, opening the door to leave. The next second, he was kicked back into the room from outside. I struggled to open my blurred eyes and vaguely saw that the person who had arrived was my sister, Scarlett. She rushed towards me with a team of bodyguards, her eyes red. I couldn't hear what she was saying, only felt my mouth dry and parched. "Sister, you're so beautiful." I wrapped my arms around her neck, closed my eyes, and pressed my lips against hers. The clamor of bodyguards driving people out behind us seemed to cease in the space between Scarlett and me. The soft touch brought back a sliver of clarity and reason. "Sister, I'm sorry." I used all my strength to push her away. Scarlett's cheeks were flushed, and her eyes blazed with anger. She shot up, walked over to Jason, and slapped him twice across the face. Hand over the antidote. Jason was stunned by her slaps, his cheeks immediately swelling, but he didn't dare talk back. To this day, the person he feared most was still Scarlett. So, with almost no hesitation, he tremblingly pulled the antidote from his pocket and handed it to her. Scarlett cradled my head in her arms, pinched my mouth open, and slowly poured the antidote in. The cool liquid instantly dispelled the burning heat in my body. I just felt very tired. "Good boy. Rest now. Sister is here. Don't be afraid." Scarlett placed a kiss on my forehead and carefully laid me back on the bed. She ordered 2 large men to guard me and then threw everyone else out. Through the door, I couldn't hear clearly what she said, only felt her fury and the sound of Jason kneeling and kowtowing outside the door, followed by his heart-wrenching pleas for mercy as he was dragged away. The door opened again, and Scarlett sat by my bedside, reaching out to touch my face. "Don't be afraid, little brother. Sister is here." I finally relaxed and fell asleep. When I woke up again, it was the next morning. Scarlett was by my bedside and immediately handed me her phone. "Little brother, sister already avenged you last night." Jason's struggling pleas echoed from the phone. "Director Miller, please spare me. It hurts. Please stop hitting me, Dad. Mom, save me." He wanted to beg for mercy, but he didn't expect the Johnsons to curse him through the door. "You damn kid. You offended so many important people. You better atone for your sins properly." Familiar images flashed through my mind, shaking me so violently that a sharp pain shot through my insides. I threw the phone away, trembling all over, and wrapped myself in the blanket. "No, don't go away." Scarlett hadn't expected me to be so triggered. She quickly hugged me, comforting, "Liam, don't be afraid. Sister is here. It's all Sister's fault. Sister shouldn't have let you see this." I raised my hand and forcefully pushed her away, punching her. "Why did you show me this? I hate you. I hate you." The methods those people used on me in my past life, the cruel pain filled me with overwhelming hatred. I hated Jason. I hated that nouveau riche couple, the Johnsons. I hated everyone who had hurt me. I wanted them all to die a horrible death. Scarlett sat there like a statue, letting me beat her. Only when I had cried myself hoarse did she sigh and pull me back into her embrace. "Feeling better now? I'm sorry. Sister only thought about avenging you. I didn't expect it would hurt you again." I nodded, choking back tears. I had never told her before that I had suffered the same things in my previous life. She only thought I hated Jason because he had burned me to death in the end. She didn't know I had also endured such inhuman abuse. Her heart ached for me. She cupped my face and wiped away my tears. Then she told me how she had avenged me the previous night. After driving those people out of the room, she immediately declared she would terminate the contract with Director Miller. Even if it meant destroying the script, she wouldn't let him film it. Furthermore, all industries under the Smith Group would never cooperate with scum like them in the future. Given Scarlett's status as a magnate, the men quickly admitted their mistake and apologized, claiming they were incited by Jason and had merely accepted willingly. Sister said, "Only one thing. However you plan to deal with my little brother tonight, that's how you'll deal with him." "Understood." Director Miller and the others quickly agreed, dragging the screaming and begging Jason to the room next door. Tonight's banquet was attended by high society people, but he had shot himself in the foot. From the third-floor room, no matter how much one shouted, the people on the first floor conversing over the music wouldn't hear a thing. When the Johnsons heard he had offended the Smith family and several powerful figures, they rushed upstairs to curse Jason. Then they personally guarded the door, allowing him to be abused and tormented. Jason was tortured for an entire night and was carried away by an ambulance before dawn. The powerful figures suppressed the news, and the hotel staff dared not leak a single word. Later, it was said that Jason spent a whole month recovering in bed. The day he recovered was also the day the contract was to be finalized. Seeing me attend with Scarlett, Jason regained his arrogant smugness. Liam, you loser. You can only be a pretty boy hiding behind your sister for the rest of your life. After I finish this movie and am crowned Best Actor, I'll settle scores with you. Just you wait and cry. I looked at him as if he were an idiot. When he found out later that he was going to be replaced by me, the screenwriter, would he burst into tears. The signing ceremony began quickly. Scarlett, holding the contract, said to Director Miller with a faint smile, "My screenwriter is here today too." Director Miller quickly stood up, pleasantly surprised. "Really? The great talent is finally willing to show his face. Please introduce me quickly." The scripts for 2 blockbuster movies he had directed in recent years both came from Scarlett's company. He had a strong premonition that the one they were signing today would break historical box office records. When he saw Scarlett pull me to my feet, he froze on the spot. Jason was also stunned, then laughed. "Don't tell me they bribed the screenwriter to let this useless oaf take the credit." I calmly stood up, took the microphone, and began to explain the creative concept behind my script. The conference hall was silent. Director Miller was very excited, praising me as a genius. "My script, he cannot act in it," I said calmly, pointing at Jason. Director Miller nodded almost immediately. "No problem. Whatever you say goes." Jason's face turned pale with disbelief. "Director Miller, you promised me." "I promised your father nothing. Get lost." Director Miller shoved him aside and was about to flatter me when Scarlett stopped him. When the Johnsons heard that I had prevented Jason from becoming a Best Actor, they instantly flew into a rage. They grabbed Jason by the ear and cursed loudly. "If we had known, we wouldn't have chosen you. You good for nothing. You only have a pretty face. We asked you to please someone, and you were so reluctant. Now look, you've offended someone you shouldn't have." Jason screamed in pain. Scarlett frowned. "Noisy, irrelevant people. Get out." Jason and the Johnsons were immediately escorted out by security. Director Miller wanted to say something more, but Scarlett stopped him with a raised hand. "My little brother doesn't particularly like you as a director, so we don't plan to sign with you." Director Miller's face changed drastically. He wanted to ask me why, but I didn't even glance at him. "Then why did you give me 2 scripts before?" He still hadn't given up. Outside, sirens were already wailing. Scarlett answered his question for me. "Because little brother said you have to cast a long line to catch a big fish." Director Miller was arrested for forcible indecency and intentional injury. The breach of contract fees he had to pay were astronomical. Jason, as a victim, was also taken in for questioning. Scarlett handed over all the videos of him drugging me and me nearly being abused by those people to the police. Even the videos of Jason being repeatedly abused were submitted. At first, Jason refused to admit anything, claiming the videos were AI face swaps. It wasn't until the Johnsons arrived and threatened him not to speak recklessly that Jason finally broke down. I'll confess everything. I was the one who drugged him. And what they did to me, it's all true. My parents are the real masterminds. They coerced me when I just turned 18. Jason, tears streaming down his face, began to accuse the Johnsons of the abuse he had suffered since childhood and also named the industry bigwigs who had abused him. Although efforts were made to suppress this matter, a recording was still leaked under Scarlett's manipulation. When fans heard that their idol, the popular young star, was a manipulated puppet, a plaything of capital, they were outraged and wanted to seek justice for him. As a result, Scarlett quickly released a second recording. And it was his own confession of drugging and framing me and his intention to drag me down with him. This time, all the fans who had previously sympathized with him and wanted to speak up for him turned against him and unfollowed. They cursed him for his malicious intentions, saying he deserved it. Jason's dream of stardom was completely shattered, and the Johnsons became objects of public scorn. Director Miller's past of using his position to repeatedly abuse celebrities and artists was exposed, and he was blacklisted by the industry. He went bankrupt overnight and committed suicide by jumping off a building. The powerful figures and wealthy women who had joined him in abusing celebrities were also exposed one by one. At first, they were stubborn, But later, for some unknown reason, relevant evidence was suddenly mailed to the police station. None of these people escaped legal punishment. As for Jason, because he was also a victim and had only drugged me without causing actual harm, he was detained for a month and then released. The first thing he did after getting out was to find his adoptive parents, the Johnsons, and hack them to death. It was said that the scene was very bloody. Jason, in a murderous frenzy, chopped them into mincemeat. When he was arrested, he was still wildly swinging the knife, cursing, "It's all your fault. Why did you force me? Why did you use me? Go to hell." When they were about to apprehend him, he resisted with the knife and was shot dead on the spot. With that, all my revenge was complete. After Jason died, no one claimed his body. He was hastily cremated. Scarlett asked if I wanted to scatter his ashes. I shook my head. This life and the next, I never want to see him again. She nodded, then asked somewhat apprehensively, "What about me?" I smiled, wrapped my arms around her waist just like when I first went home with her. "You are my forever good sister." She seemed to appreciate that, sighing. "It was because you called me sister back then that I decided to protect you for a lifetime. No, for the next lifetime and the one after that, too." A warmth spread through my heart. "Sister, you're so good. It's good that you know. Sister, are you willing to stay by my side and protect me for a lifetime?" "Yes,"